people will be like, really? Is it really going to improve? Because this is terrible, right? And there's no way of knowing, but as Jamie, I just wanted to reiterate to say with hot flashes, there's peaks and valleys, much like healing takes place, but it's sometimes really hard for people to go through that to kind of see, oh, is there a light at the end of the tunnel? But I would say it's very, very common for people to see improvement and stabilization of those. So less peaks and valleys and for those to stabilize for the reasons that Jamie was mentioning there. So, if you can hold on to your horses and just kind of say, okay, we've got a few more weeks to go here and kind of truck along, then at the end, then that's where you can talk with your practitioner to say, okay, what's remaining? Why do I say that? Because we're minimizing the variables, we're simplifying what needs to be considered. Okay. And when we do that, then we kind of, at the end of this to say, okay, well, what else is there if there's anything at all that you could need some additional support to a targeted pathway, right? Like your endocrine system or your liver, liver, gallbladder type of thing, biliary system, digestive system, so on, right? Like all the systems of the body. So if there's anything remaining, then our practitioners will help speak into that, right? But the great part about what you're going through right now is you're minimizing the variables that even need to be considered. So then we know what's remaining needs to be targeted if that's what it is that you want to do in the end, right? So you have a choice there to have some additional support if needed. But I just wanted to reiterate sometimes that hot flashes, they require some patience, right? And I know in the moment, there's not a whole lot of patience. So it's one of those things where if there's ever a concern and or doubt, or, if you're just like, I just can't tolerate, like this is just really affecting my life, then to speak into that with your practitioner. But I've had people even go even the second week of phase 4 being like, oh, this is not so much better. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, right? Like I'm starting to see some change. Okay. So let's see where you go if you're willing to be patient, through that process, just to be aware of. But I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that kind of that specific symptom. Sometimes it does require some time in order to see any forward progress with that. Yeah. But it is typical to see progress with that.